Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Active Listening. I'm your host, Alyssa, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. We have a really important and often asked question to tackle. How can you start speaking English without any mistakes? It's a powerful thought, isn't it? The idea of just saying everything perfectly. Well, today we're going to explore what that really means, and more importantly, how you can build the confidence and skills to speak English clearly and naturally, minimizing those moments where you feel unsure. Many of you, I know, dream of the day you can express yourselves freely, without hesitation, and without worrying about grammar errors or mispronunciations. And that's a wonderful goal. But let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. Is speaking without any mistakes truly possible, even for native speakers? Think about it. Do you know anyone who speaks their native language absolutely perfectly, all the time? Even I, a native English speaker, sometimes stumble over words, make a grammatical slip, or use a filler word like or like. It's a part of natural conversation. So, if perfect, flawless speech isn't even the norm for native speakers, what should our goal be? Our goal should be clarity, confidence, and effective communication. It's about getting your message across clearly, feeling good about what you say, and being understood. And when you focus on that, those moments where you feel unsure often become less significant, and sometimes they even disappear on their own as you gain more experience. Today, we're going to dive into practical strategies that will help you move closer to that confident, clear English. We'll talk about shifting your mindset, building a strong foundation, and specific techniques to practice. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's start this journey together. First, let's redefine what we mean by mistakes. Often, when learners say they want to speak without mistakes, they're thinking of grammatical errors, incorrect vocabulary choices, or mispronunciations. And yes, these can hinder communication. But I want you to think of them not as failures, but as learning opportunities. Every time you notice you've said something that isn't quite right, it's actually a chance to learn and improve. It's data. Your brain is saying, hey, this is something we can work on. Consider a baby learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they bump into things. Do we call those mistakes? No. We call them part of the learning process. Each fall teaches them something about balance, about their muscles, about how the world works. Speaking a new language is very similar. It's a skill, and skills are developed through practice, experimentation, and yes, sometimes a little stumbling. The biggest moment where you can stop yourself from speaking is letting the fear of making mistakes prevent you from speaking at all. If you wait until you're perfect before you open your mouth, you'll never start. And speaking is the only way to truly improve your speaking. It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? You have to speak to get better at speaking, even if you're not perfect when you start. So let's agree to shift our perspective. From now on, instead of mistakes, let's call them learning moments or areas for growth. How does that feel? A bit less intimidating, right? Now that we've redefined these learning moments, let's tackle the biggest hurdle for many English learners. The fear of speaking. This fear often comes from a desire for perfection, a worry about being judged, or simply feeling shy. But remember, communication is the goal, not perfection. Think about someone who is trying to understand you. Are they analyzing your grammar like a strict teacher with a red pen? Probably not. Most people are genuinely interested in what you have to say. They want to connect with you. If you make a small grammatical slip, but your message is clear, they will still understand you, and they will appreciate your effort. Here's a powerful truth. Most people are far more focused on themselves than they are on your English. They're thinking about their own day, their own thoughts, what they're going to say next. They are not dissecting your sentences. And if someone does offer a correction, try to see it as a helpful gesture, not a criticism. They're giving you a free mini lesson. To overcome this fear, you need to cultivate an "it's okay to make mistakes" mindset. Start small. Practice speaking to yourself in the mirror. Talk to a trusted friend who is also learning English. Record yourself speaking on your phone and listen back. This can be incredibly insightful. You'll often find that your learning moments are much less significant than you imagine them to be. To speak English clearly and effectively, even if not perfectly, you need a solid foundation. This involves 3 main pillars: vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Let's break each of them down. First, vocabulary is about choosing the right words. Having a good vocabulary means you have the right tools to express your ideas. But it's not just about knowing many words. It's about knowing the right words for the situation and being able to use them naturally. So focus on high-frequency words. These are the words used most often in daily conversation. Learning these first will give you the biggest return on your effort. Think about words like go, get, make, do, common verbs, nouns, and adjectives. Then learn words in context. Don't just memorize isolated words from a list. Learn them in sentences, phrases, or collocations, which are words that often go together, like make a decision or take a shower. This helps you understand how they're used naturally. And crucially, use new words immediately. As soon as you learn a new word or phrase, try to use it in your own sentences. Write them down, say them aloud, or try to weave them into a conversation. This active recall helps solidify them in your memory. For a moment, think about your daily routine. What are 5 new English verbs you could use to describe actions you take regularly? Maybe commute, prepare, analyze, collaborate, or relax. Try to form a simple sentence with each one right now. For example, I commute to work by bus, or I like to relax after a long day. Next, grammar is the structure of language. Grammar is the framework that holds your sentences together. It helps ensure your message is clear and unambiguous. While you don't need to be a grammar expert to speak English, understanding the basics is crucial for clear communication. So focus on core grammatical structures. Start with the most common sentence structures: subject, verb, object. Master verb tenses like the simple present, simple past, and present continuous, as these are used constantly. Learn through examples, not just rules. Instead of just memorizing grammar rules, look at how grammar is used in real sentences. Read simple English articles, listen to podcasts, and notice the patterns. Practice with exercises. There are many excellent online resources and apps that offer grammar exercises. These can help you practice forming correct sentences in a low-pressure environment and pay attention to common patterns you find tricky. As you speak or write, notice what grammatical patterns you struggle with. Is it prepositions? Subject-verb agreement? Focus your learning on those specific areas. Let's try a quick grammar check. Think about something you did yesterday. Now, describe it using 3 sentences, making sure to use the simple past tense correctly. For instance, yesterday I visited my friend. We talked for hours. Then I went home. Finally, pronunciation is making yourself understood. Pronunciation is about how you produce sounds, words, and sentences in English. Good pronunciation isn't about sounding exactly like a native speaker. It's about being clear enough so that others can understand you easily. Listen actively. Pay close attention to how native speakers pronounce words, especially sounds that don't exist in your native language. Notice the rhythm and intonation of English, how the voice rises and falls. Practice individual sounds. Identify sounds that are difficult for you and practice them in isolation. For example, the TH sound, the R sound, or vowel sounds. Many online resources offer audio examples and exercises. Focus on stress and intonation. English is a stress-timed language, meaning certain syllables and words are emphasized. This rhythm is just as important as individual sounds for being understood. Try repeating sentences you hear, imitating the speaker's rhythm. Record yourself. This is perhaps the most powerful tool for improving pronunciation. Record yourself saying words or sentences and compare them to a native speaker's recording. You'll be surprised at what you notice. You can also use minimal pairs. Practice words that differ by only one sound, like ship and sheep, or live and leave. This helps train your ear and your mouth to distinguish and produce these sounds correctly. Let's work on a common, tricky sound. Say the word think aloud. Now say thing. Can you feel the difference in your tongue placement for the th sound in think versus the ng sound in thing? Try repeating, I think that's a good thing, slowly, focusing on those sounds. Building a foundation is essential, but to truly start speaking confidently, you need to put that knowledge into action. Here are some effective strategies for active practice. First, embrace exposure. Immerse yourself in English. The more you expose yourself to English, the more naturally the language will start to feel. So listen constantly. Listen to English podcasts like this one. Watch English movies and TV shows, with subtitles at first, then without. Listen to English music. Pay attention not just to the words, but to the natural flow, intonation, and common phrases. Then read widely. Read books, articles, news in English. Start with simplified readers if necessary, then move on to authentic materials. Reading helps you internalize grammar structures and expand your vocabulary in context. And try changing your device language. Switch your phone, computer, or other devices to English. This creates constant, low-stakes exposure in your daily life. Next, speak, speak, speak. Create speaking opportunities. This is the most crucial step. You have to actively produce the language. Talk to yourself. Describe your day. Narrate your actions as you do them. Or even talk to your pet in English. This might sound silly, but it's a safe way to practice forming sentences and speaking aloud without fear of judgment. Find a language partner. Connect with someone who is also learning English or a native speaker who is willing to do a language exchange. There are many apps and websites designed for this. Regular conversation is invaluable. Join English conversation groups. Many communities have free or low-cost English conversation groups. This is a great way to practice in a supportive environment with different people. Don't be afraid to initiate conversations. Even if it's just asking for directions, ordering food, or making a small comment, seize every opportunity to use English in real life. You can also practice shadowing. Listen to a short audio clip or video and try to repeat what you hear almost simultaneously, like an echo or a shadow. This helps with pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. Think about a recent simple conversation you had in your native language. Now, try to reenact that conversation aloud in English, playing both parts. Don't worry about perfection, just try to get the gist of it across. This helps you translate your thoughts into English spontaneously. Then, focus on fluency over accuracy initially. When you are speaking, especially in a live conversation, prioritize getting your message out over being perfectly accurate. Don't stop mid-sentence to correct a minor grammatical error. Keep going. The goal is to communicate. You can always review and learn from those learning moments later. The more fluent you become, the more natural your speech will sound. And surprisingly, accuracy often improves as a result of consistent practice. And be sure to learn common phrases and idioms. Native speakers use many fixed expressions, idioms, and phrasal verbs. Learning these will make your English sound much more natural and fluent. For example, instead of saying, "I am very tired," you could say, "I'm worn out," or "I'm exhausted." Can you think of 3 common English greetings or farewells other than hello and goodbye? How about how's it going? Logically, nice to meet you, or see you later. Try using one the next time you greet someone, even if it's just yourself in the mirror. So, despite all our best efforts, you will sometimes stumble or say something that isn't quite right, and that's perfectly okay. Here's how to handle it gracefully. First, don't panic or apologize excessively. A quick "sorry, I meant," or "let me rephrase that" is fine, but don't dwell on it. Just correct yourself and move on. Second, try self-correction. If you realize you've said something that isn't quite right, try to correct yourself immediately. This shows you are aware and actively learning. For example, "I went to the store." No, I mean, "I go to the store every day." Third, ask for clarification. If you notice a listener looks confused, don't be afraid to ask, "Did that make sense?" Or "Was that clear?" This invites them to help you. Fourth, learn from it. After the conversation, if you recall a specific pattern you found tricky, make a mental note or even write it down. Then look up the correct usage or practice it later. This is where those learning moments truly shine. And finally, focus on progress, not perfection. Celebrate your progress. Every conversation you have in English, no matter how many learning moments it contains, is a step forward. Remember, the journey to speaking English without any mistakes, or rather, to speaking with clarity and confidence, is a continuous one. It's not a destination you reach overnight. It's about consistent effort, a positive attitude, and a willingness to embrace challenges. Don't compare your English journey to anyone else's. Everyone learns at their own pace. Focus on your own growth, celebrate your small victories, and be patient with yourself. The more you speak, the more natural it will become. The more you listen, the better your ear will get. The more you read, the richer your vocabulary and understanding of grammar will be. My final message to you today is this: don't let the fear of imperfection silence your voice. Your voice, your thoughts, your ideas are valuable, and the world wants to hear them. So take a deep breath, trust the process, and just start speaking. You are capable of amazing things. Thank you so much for joining me today on English Active Listening. I hope this episode has given you a fresh perspective and some practical tools to help you on your English speaking journey. Remember to keep practicing, keep listening, and keep believing in yourself. Until next time, happy learning.